I'm D.I. von Briesen. I'm glad you could join us. I'm going to start by introducing Moodle by first taking you to Moodle.org, which is pretty much the go-to place for all things Moodle. And the reason this is so important is that Moodle is more than just a software application. Moodle is also a community of educators. In particular, they're educators just like you. That means they care about teaching, they care about reaching people who might not be able to come into the traditional classroom, and they care about using technology to do that. So everybody who goes here is a person just like you, because you wouldn't be watching this, or you wouldn't be here with me if you weren't a technology educator. So I take that back, an educator who uses technology. So we're on Moodle.org, and I take you here because there are a couple of really useful links right on the main page. I'm going to talk about the top two sections. On the top section, we have a link to what is open source software. And I won't get into that too much here, but if you click on it, that takes you to a long explanation. There's a lot of talk thrown around about open source. People will say, oh, nobody owns it, so we can't blame anybody, or nobody's going to pay for it, or what have you. And I'll just tell you right now, that's all bunk. You can look up bunk on Wikipedia, but basically it's nonsense, and people will throw that around because they want you to buy their product, or they're worried, and so on and so forth. But open source software runs 70% of the web servers in the world. It's robust, it's solid, it's fixed and tweaked and updated by the whole worldwide community, and Moodle is no exception. So there's also a link to Pedagogical Principles. Now, the founder of Moodle, Martin Dougiamas, was a teacher. He was working on his PhD, and he had classes, and he was using WebCT, and he just said, I can do a better job than this, and guess what? He did. So now we have the tool. People start downloading it. People start contributing, and now he has a full-time staff in Australia of 5, and he has other staff around the world that are paid, and even a much larger community that are unpaid to develop this software. So really quite something. So then I'm going to jump to the next section. I want to show you this one thing. There's a link that says, with over 130,000 registered users on this site alone. What that means is they're people. Who are these people? People just like you. They're educators who want to use technology. And you see here we've got a huge list of people, and they're just listed in the last order they logged in. And the funny thing is, I know these people. Not only am I right here because I just logged in, but I see this person. I say, he looks really familiar. Is that Eloy in Spain? Yay, I'm right. Eloy from Spain. I've never met Eloy, but I've worked with him online. I've read his posts. He's read my posts. And someday we'll meet at a Moodle conference. I keep looking down. Martin's in Australia, so if he logs in, I know he's working really late. In an earlier session, he was there. If I put my cursor over each person, we have Nagajaran from India. We have Mark from the U.S. We have Francis from the UK. That's the United Kingdom for you Americans. We have Alberto from Spain. I mean, you get the trend here. This is global. These are global. Who are they again? These are teachers, right? They're people just like you. And this is a huge list. Down, down, down. We've got thousands of people. And these are people who took the time to create accounts. They're not just surfing. They took the time to actually upload an icon or a picture. So that's one thing. So this is the community. And it's global, and because of that, Moodle is a global application. It supports the world. It's got 75 language packs: Greek, Hebrew, Arabic, Farsi, French, German, English. The Queen's English. It's got different kinds of English. It's all these languages. And I challenge you to find another education package that's that community-based and worldwide-based. So I'm going to show you a statistics page, and if you look at the statistics page, you can see that we're here now in September, October 2006, and we're up to about, 17,000 sites? When I first started using this, it's 2003. In fact, I was looking through the conference registration here, and it said, with over 10,000 registered sites. I said, it's not 10,000, it's 17,000. But when they printed that conference brochure based on my original email, it was 10,000 back then, and that was 6 months ago. So we're seeing, you look at the curve, it's going through the moon. And I feel privileged to have been sort of an early adopter back in the 2003, 2004 era. But it's amazing. And so anybody said, oh, this software is going to go away or what have you, frankly, they're just, what's the word, jerking your chain or whatever it is. So I'm going to keep going and show you a couple other things on this page. One of them is the Moodle demonstration course. And if you go into the Moodle demonstration course, you see a sample course that pretty much demonstrates all of the parts that go into Moodle. Now, you have the Moodle framework, but then within the framework, you have two key pieces. You have the blocks, which go around the edges. They're the two columns on each side. And you can add and remove them as you like. And they're cool things like a Wikipedia search or a loan calculator or a list of who's logged on right now or a link to updates or latest changes to the site or RSS feeds from news sources. Whereas the middle part is made up of sections, and that's sort of the meat and potatoes of your course. You can organize by weeks or topics, and that's where you put the work that you want the students to do, and that's where you put the resources that you want students to look at. So the things that we add to a course in addition to that layout we call resources and activities. And the resources are read this, look at this, review this, something that they need to maybe interact with but not necessarily do anything gradable or tangible. It's more, okay, here's the reading assignment, go read it or go look at these 3 sites. So you can link files, you can link web pages, you can link directories, you can create web pages, you can create files, you can link to directories, all of that, PowerPoint, Word, you name it. The activities, on the other hand, are things where the student has to actually do something, and in many cases you give them a grade for it, or you can have them give each other grades for it. So that would be take this quiz, or write this poem, or submit this essay. And there's a whole variety of them. If you look here, we'll get into a course a little bit later, but you'll see there's just this big long list of activities. So I'll go into the Moodle features demo, and you'll see right here just a sample. You've got your 2 columns. Remember, those are our blocks. You've got your center section, so section, section, section. Could organize, again, by topics or weeks, because teachers typically think about their course either in terms of modules or units, or they say, oh, it's week 7 out of a 16-week course. And so you decide in the settings. So we scroll down, and there's a sample of the overall, talks about the overall design. There's a sample of web pages. There's a sample of text files. There's an offline assignment, an online assignment, a choice, a repeating chat, so on and so forth. So that's all there. Where do you go to get this? Moodle.org, right? So just go there. It's all linked right from the home page. Then back to the home page, a couple other things is when you create an account, or you can go in as a guest, you go to this course called Using Moodle, which is on the Moodle site. And the Moodle site is run using Moodle. So even though it's not an academic site, it uses Moodle to manage this whole community. And you click on the Using Moodle course, and if you're not enrolled, it'll ask you if you want to enroll. And you say yes. And you go look here. And I can see in the last 5 minutes, we've got about 10 people logged in. I'm going to look at one of them. Let's say this guy, Chris Coleman. I click on him. I've never met Chris before, but he's part of the Moodle community. And it takes a minute to load up. This is the network connection here where we're filming. It's a little bit off. But I assure you the Moodle server loads pretty quickly. And we now have Chris Coleman's profile. And he's taken the time to upload a picture, maybe give a link to a website, and his information. So again, this is the Moodle community. And these are people around the world. So he writes, there's a quote, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit." So who are these people? These are people like you and me that are passionate about what we do. And he says, I coordinate 700 hours a year of interactive videos training between 4 sites, and so on and so forth. That's some cool stuff that he's doing. And you look down, he's got his email. I could email him directly if I wanted. And he's in Littleton, New Hampshire. Littleton, go figure, I'm in Charlotte. So I've just met this fellow. He hasn't met me yet, but over time it comes up. So then I'm going to go to look at another fellow. It says Mark Pearson, and load him up. And you'll see that when I load a person, I'm in the participants section of the course. And in the participants, we can go look at all the participants as a list. And this is great when you're in a course. You can see who's logged in recently. He's got a shorter, he says, instructional technologist at a small liberal arts college, Urham College, in the throbbing heart of the American Midwest, Richmond, Indiana, and man about 50-ish. That's what he writes. He's about 50-ish. So I'll go up to the participants link at the navigation bar, and we'll see who's here on Moodle and who's here recently. Now remember, this is Sunday morning. Well, you don't know that, but it is Sunday morning. Now, I don't know why we're at a conference on a Sunday morning. I don't know why people are logging into Moodle on a Saturday night, but they are. And we can go far enough, we can find out who's logged in Russia, and we've developed time travel because they logged in tomorrow, which is pretty neat. But you look on here, 5 seconds ago, Stephen logged on. DI logged on to this page 14 seconds ago. We scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page. We had Ian Lake logged in 37 minutes ago. So one page, we had 20 or so people log in the last 27 minutes. But now, or 37 minutes, now I'm going to jump forward 10 pages. So that means about 200 people have logged on in the last, let that load, in the last 9 hours. So you can extrapolate. That means the next 200 people have logged in the last 18 hours, which means the next 200. So about 600 people have logged in the last 24 hours. on a Saturday night and a Sunday morning. Like, what kind of people are they? What kind are they? Educators who care about teaching online, who care about using technology to be better teachers. So that's who this is. So you need to become part of that community. So that's the Using Moodle course. But in addition, this is a collaborative forum, a place for you to engage and talk to these people who have similar needs and interests and curiosities and questions as you do. And this whole course lays out, for example, we start out with some questions. Where are you using Moodle? What kind of institution is represented? Is it a K through 12? Is it a church? Is it a homeschool? Is it a university? Is it a 2-year college? And then we get into discussion groups that apply to each element of Moodle. There's a whole group about installations. There's a whole group about troubleshooting. There's a whole group about how you do such and such in the assignment module. And chances are, if you have a question about something, somebody's already asked it, and it might be the 2 or 3 people have already answered it. So when you have questions, this is the place to go. And I guarantee if you go here and you spend a couple hours just reading the forums, you'll learn so much information. And it will help you tremendously with your own version or your own installation. And some of you are not geeks. You're not going to be doing the install, but you'll be using Moodle. And there are people just like that here. Some of you are geeks, and you're all about configuring the GD image thing in PHP so that whatever happens, well, that's here too. So it's broken up pretty much by all the categories within Moodle, all of the activities, all the resources, each have their own discussion forum. And you as a user, anyone in the world, can go create an account on bugs.moodle.org, which is where you submit bug submissions. You say, here's a problem I found. Here are the circumstances under which I found it. And you can watch as that bug gets assigned to somebody, as that person tries to replicate it, as that person solves the bug, and then as a tester establishes that it was solved, and then the bug is closed. Now, where else do you get that kind of participatory involvement with a software package? Try that with WebCT. Try that with Blackboard. Try that with Angel. Try that with Microsoft. Forget it. With Moodle, you get that. You can go and you can create an account on the document project. If you have a good idea about how something should work in Moodle, as far as documentation, do this or go through these steps step by step, you can just put it right in there. And Helen Foster, the document manager, will make sure it's clean and good and give her sign of approval. And that project is growing. There are now 600-700 pages of that manual, and it's all online and it's all user contributed. Good stuff. So, Moodle.org, docs.moodle.org, bugs.moodle.org. But it all starts with Moodle.org. So that's pretty much all about Moodle.org. And I think we're going to take a quick break, and then we can talk about some other things when you're ready.